What's up, gamers? This is the Act Man here, and I recently went to Phil Spencer's restaurant for some fine dining and cuisine. Now, I had eaten here before plenty of times, and I was getting ready to write another scathing review. But ladies and gentlemen, Phil Spencer cooked.
Finally, some good fucking food.
The fish was delish, and it made quite a dish. Xbox had their game showcase for 2024, and this showcase, to me, was more important than all the others. Because of what recently happened after the shutdowns, all the constant development troubles so many first-party Xbox titles are having, and a bunch of other shit, my faith in Xbox was pretty low. But just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. A couple of weeks ago, I posted this video, the never-ending decline of Xbox, and I think today it's time we revisit where Xbox stands after this showcase, and what, if anything, has changed because of it. Xbox needed to show games, good ones.
And you didn't disappoint.
We needed some shit to hype up me and the Xbox fan base. They largely succeeded. Not everything they showed was a slam dunk. You know, there was a couple stinkers in here. But overall, for the number of games that they showed, there was a greater ratio of stuff I'm interested in and would consider playing than stuff I don't really care about. I'm just happy I can finally say something good about Xbox.
That's impossible!
They hosted an event that ended with praise and not bewilderment. Regardless of current Xbox controversies, I think we should give this showcase a fair shake and talk about all of the games. I'm gonna give you my thoughts on every game they showed off. I might skip a few if I got nothing to say though. Timestamps are down below, and Black Ops 6 is gonna be its own video. It's hard to say which game stole the show. If this event was a sandwich, then Phil toasted the bread perfectly.
Nice.
The first and last games they revealed are the best of them all. Best of the lot. Starting with Doom: The Dark Ages. You know, there is a timeline and universe where Doom 2016 was never made and the franchise was never revived. It looks like this. Doom is a series of simple pleasures. I see Doom guy with a new shield and a cape. That's all I need to see. Here's my money. They're clearly sticking to the winning formula of 2016, but it looks like they cut the flamethrower and grapple hook from Eternal. I'm totally fine with this because the new shield looks fucking sick. It's like a shield chainsaw that you can also parry with and throw. Oh my god, the shield, bro! You got this crossbow looking thing that crushes skulls into projectiles and fires a wide sweeping barrage of bone fragments. It's like the creativity is on full display. All a new Doom game has to do is give us more of the same with cool new shit like this. Also, there's a mace too, like hell yeah, let's go fucking medieval on these demons. While I haven't forgotten how id Software treated Mick Gordon, the soundtrack for this trailer was good. It had the right feeling. Overall, Doom: The Dark Ages is looking fantastic. Definitely going to be one of my most anticipated games for 2025. And I love everything about it. Now, some games didn't include a release date or a release year, but for Doom: The Dark Ages, it's coming out in 2025. Perfect with me. And it's important to take note of which games include a timeline for launch, because that indicates how far along they are. So if we see some titles that were announced like 4 years ago and they still don't have a release date. Oh, what's up, State of Decay 3? They went for a more artsy trailer with this game. As someone with no experience with this series, it was pretty meh. Nothing for me to latch onto and make me say, yes, I do want to play another zombie game.
Hey Joe, you want to play a zombie game?
No, I don't want to fucking play another goddamn zombie game!
There were short snippets of what looked like gameplay, but it was surrounded by heavily scripted cutscenes. So I have no idea what the gameplay is actually going to be like. No launch date or year. It feels like State of Decay is just treading water right now. This game was announced back in July of 2020. But Xbox still has this terrible habit of announcing games like half a decade before they're even ready. This trailer for State of Decay 3 feels like it was made to say, hey, the game isn't canceled, and not much more than that. Dragon Age Veilguard. Oh, sweet Jesus. What have they done to you, Dragon Age? What have they done to you? BioWare is finally making a return 5 years after they released Anthem, which feels like an eternity ago, but a brand new Dragon Age? Okay. I love the first game. What is this? Is this what Dragon Age is now? It's like a medieval superhero genre? Why is it so upbeat? I feel like I saw this shit on the fucking Disney Channel back as a kid. You know what I mean? Like, man, come on. Dragon Age is supposed to be epic dark fantasy. Just compare the trailer for the first game to this. I've been out of the loop on Dragon Age for a while, but Everything I saw in this trailer, I hated. I hated it all. I guess Origins was just a fluke. That game was everything I loved about BioWare, about KOTOR, all wrapped up in a medieval setting with vastly improved RPG mechanics, amazing cast of characters and party members. This was BioWare at their absolute best, in my opinion, and they have just never gotten back to that point. I hated Dragon Age 2, played only a few hours of Inquisition, and was not feeling it. There's just like always something that instantly turns me off with every Dragon Age game after Origins.
What about Darkspawn?
Yeah.
What about Darkspawn? We're in Happy Funland. Oh, those silly Darkspawn. They're at it again. It's like they're an afterthought. What about Darkspawn? I'll tell you what about them. The creatures that used to look like this, that were evil as fuck, so tainted and corrupted they carried a plague, a blight that would sweep across the world, turning every living thing into a grotesque monstrosity like they are? That Darkspawn? Yes, can we go back to that? I miss the bloodiness of Dragon Age. Look at how the Darkspawn changed from Origins to Dragon Age 2, and then now in Veilguard. This is just like a troll with a skull face. In fact, it's less scary than a skeleton to me because of its cartoony, bulging eyes. I mean, this has got to be the absolute worst monster redesign in the history of video games. Dragon Age's art style is completely obliterated at this point. The only thing I saw that I could identify with Dragon Age was the Kunari, which also doesn't look right. So whatever Dragon Age is these days, it's clearly nothing like the original game that I thought was a masterpiece and arguably BioWare's best video game. So I'm gonna pass on this one, but if you're hyped for it, more power to you. While any chance to see Todd Howard emerge from the catacombs is a blessing to be sure, he did not appear to promote Starfield's next expansion, Shattered Space. It looks interesting, I suppose. The new planet is gorgeous, but there's just something about Starfield's gameplay, combat, and exploration that I don't really care to go back to. And this DLC probably won't change that. However, they did announce and release a new update for Starfield, which includes community-made content, and that's great. This game needs all the help it can get. There was like 2 seconds of space combat that looked cool, but I really wanted to see fun new enemies to fight. I feel like that was one of my biggest complaints, is that the majority of the game, it just felt like I was fighting robots and people. Who knows? Maybe Shattered Space will revitalize interest in Starfield. We'll see. Speaking of Bethesda games I'm not interested in playing, Fallout 76 is getting an expansion, Skyline Valley. To this day, I still haven't gotten over how bad of a first impression 76 made with me, and I was never interested in this multiplayer type of Fallout game to begin with. However, I can respect good marketing, and this trailer was cute. It played off the themes of Fallout and its stylistic strengths. The Fallout show has done an incredible job of renewing interest in Fallout. And for the fans who do play 76, I'm happy the game is still being supported. Even some of my buddies have gotten back into it and tell me it's good. I need new friends. The next game they showed was Expedition 33, a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. This game's art style captivated me immediately, and I was taken off guard when I saw it was a turn-based game. I love turn-based RPGs with action commands and counters. Also, the music for this trailer, just have a listen. It was awesome. Expedition 33 was definitely something I did not expect, but I love being blindsided by a new IP and immediately being interested in it. I'll stay tuned for news on this one. Next, we saw South of Midnight, aka Louisiana Simulator. I think the setting is cool. You know, you got this giant Tom Kench-like fish in the bayou, gators, swamps. I dig this vibe. But personally, I am not really a fan of intentionally low frame rates for shows or games. I know it's an artistic choice and some folk really like the style. It's just not for me. I think it looks choppy and unfinished. The gameplay was also nothing special, but it looks like an independent game, so, you know, it wasn't like offensive or anything. They also announced a new World of Warcraft expansion. I don't know if they had announced this prior, but The War Within comes out on August 26th. With Blizzard, I'm in a place where I don't really care about any of their games right now. I feel like maybe it's time for them to try a new IP, or, you know, try to make another good RTS game. Who knows? Just spitballing ideas. And of course, there was tactical espionage action Metal Gear Solid Triangle Snake Eater. That's the game's official title, I think. Get your tomatoes ready because I have never played Metal Gear Solid. All right, here's my gamer card. I'll give it to you. I don't deserve it. But on the real, MGS is a series I've wanted to check out for years, and I've been waiting for the right moment. This looks like the right moment. I'll probably want to start with the first. Still, I know that Metal Gear Solid is a big franchise, so any new game, remaster, or remake is going to make some waves. Personally, I was looking for a sequel to Metal Gear Survive. I'm a little disappointed, but you know what? I'll take it. Comparing the graphics of this to the original really shows how well the third game holds up visually. They also announced a new season of Sea of Thieves, and at this point, it feels like Xbox is covering all the bases, all the different genres they are dedicating time to, which is a really good sign. It's all just trailers, just about the games, and no nonsense, you know? No talk of appealing to modern audiences or any of that crap, yet. I may have talked some smack about Sea of Thieves, but I haven't played it in a long time. I've heard good things. It's nice to see them supporting this game, that people still enjoy it, and that they're not giving up on it. Also, if I'm not mistaken, most if not all of these titles they've shown will be on Game Pass, or Game Pass Day 1. Series X and PC, no mention of Xbox One, which indicates to me that these games aren't being forced to work on last-gen hardware. Thank God. Real-time strategy games do not get much love these days. It's one of my favorite genres, and I was very happy to see Microsoft is still investing in them. In the Age of Empires series, which Age of Mythology is kind of a part of. They've kept the Age of Empires 2 community alive, and that is one of the greatest video games ever. It has not aged poorly at all in the definitive edition. While I've never played Age of Mythology, I'm a certified Age of Empires 2 stan, and I've been looking for a reason to try Age of Mythology out. Retold is that reason. Then we had the Perfect Dark remake, another game announced many years ago, facing development issues, and the trailer, the gameplay they showed, nothing really wowed me about it. I never played Perfect Dark much, so I don't have any nostalgia for it. And it's still a bit concerning that no release date has been announced, despite apparently being rebooted. So probably gonna take a couple more years to get this one out. That's fine, just get it right. After this, they showed off the next Diablo expansion called the...
We do not care.
Oh shit, Diablo? Oh man. I think I made my stance on Diablo 4 pretty clear in the videos I made. Don't care to play it. That being said, this trailer started off a little cringe, but then it got pretty damn good. It became very dark and spooky to the point where I'm not sure if I can show some of the more violent images and keep this video monetized. So at the very least, I appreciate that they're still sticking with that darker tone. But I also don't particularly find the story overall interesting. So no, I'm not gonna try out Vessel of Hatred. Oh man, and we finally have an update to the new Fable? Really? Is this trailer gonna be as weird as the last one? No! It's more lighthearted, and it's definitely a step in the right direction. For one, I actually laughed at a joke.
You are like literally my favorite person.
It seems like they're tapping into two things I really love about Fable: your reputation with NPCs, how they talk to you and react to your presence, and your choices, the side of good and evil. Over-the-top medieval goofiness is what I want Fable to be, with snippets of serious dramatic storytelling. I also enjoy the angle of a retired hero becoming a mentor to the player. I think there's a lot of comedic moments you could write out of that in the world of Fable. Also, this lady that everybody complained about for looking like this, they have updated her appearance and it looks significantly better. But I wanted to see them emphasize good and evil choices and how that affects your character's appearance, because that was always one of the coolest things about Fable. If you were a saint, you looked like an angel, and if you were a dickhead, you looked like a demon. There wasn't much gameplay shown, so I'm still not fully sold on this. I'm still quite skeptical, but overall things are looking better. Fragpunk, on the other hand, is another game I didn't expect. It has like this neat concept of an FPS multiplayer game where you use cheat codes to fuck with your enemies. Yo, what the fuck? You pull out cards and like basically turn cheats on? Okay, I'll actually be fucking down for that. Like flipping the map upside down. That's awesome. If this is an ability that can be used on every map, they're essentially going to have to design the ceiling of every map to be a playable arena too. This is a really cool concept, and you might be turned off by it being a hero shooter, but I ain't playing Overwatch these days. You know, something needs to fill that void. I hope they knock it out of the park with this one. Awesome concept. Wasn't it crazy how they announced the next Red Dead Redemption? I'm pretty excited for this prequel where you play as Micah exploring the Wild West. I think the art style change is, it's a little bold, but I can kind of get down with it. Then there was Mixtape, which might have been the most bizarre looking game. It seems more suited for a TV series than a video game. You had this goofy ass animation. Oh man, that's a goofy. What the hell is a goofy ass animation? Yeah, not really interested in Mixtape.
Okay.
When I was streaming my reaction, I asked people if anybody in chat played Microsoft Flight Simulator still, and a surprising amount of people said yes. It's not a blockbuster title. It's not gonna make people go crazy. But again, this is the kind of variety that I want from Xbox. They're still continuing to make games for somewhat niche communities. And I say niche by like mainstream standards. And maybe flight simulators are not a niche community. Same thing with Age of Mythology. It's nice to know some fan bases aren't just being left out to die. And I can't wait for the Banjo-Kazooie and Halo trailers.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Elder Scrolls Online new update. Todd, for the 40th time, I don't care about Elder Scrolls Online. I want the curse of Elder Scrolls 6 to end already. I think it's funny that it's been 6 years since the announcement trailer when we saw a mountain, but please. Life is Strange Double Exposure, a new supernatural murder mystery game. Well, I do love Ace Attorney. Maybe this will be right up my alley, but as of right now, I don't know nothing about this series, so let's talk about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. This is a game that could have easily been fucked up by people making it, not understanding what makes Indiana Jones great. That is not an issue here. They nailed everything. It feels like everything I'd want from an Indiana Jones game. It has the soundtrack, the humor, the writing, and the voice actor for Indy does a damn good job.
These artifacts have a deep connection to something in the past.
They got a good voice actor too. The Indiana Jones trilogy is one of the greatest trilogies of all time. And if they have a great love interest for Indy and they have those, traveling transition sequences, oh, this game is gonna be, fucking awesome. The Great Circle also had the most screen time at the showcase outside of Black Ops 6, so we got a pretty good idea of what the game is gonna be like. I love the emphasis on slapstick comedy. That was something so charming about the original trilogy. Graphics at times were a little off, but overall, I'm seriously looking forward to this. You had me at choo choo, choo choo. Then we got Mechabreak, and I just realized I've never played a mech game that wasn't fun. I think it's actually illegal in most countries to publish a bad mech game. And for this reason alone, I'm gonna try out Mechabreak. Wuchang Fallen Feathers is a Souls-like game based in China during the Ming Dynasty, and yeah, I'm gonna play that too. This showcase has like one of the best ratios of games I think I would actually play and stuff I don't care about. It's very much slanted this way, and Wuchang Fallen Feathers is just another thing I could see myself playing. Now, I still don't quite get the vibe of Avowed, but I do love the art style, and this is Obsidian, so I'll have to give it a shot. Luckily, they did give us a release year. This was one of those games that had development troubles, so fingers crossed, man. They showed more of Assassin's Creed Shadows, and this is looking to be the most controversial game this year. Like I said before, I'm not a huge fan of Assassin's Creed, so nothing in here really captivated me. I think the biggest surprise is that they didn't tell you to fucking pre-order it. I mean, mind blown. They also showed off Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. And I've never played Stalker, but I get recommendations for it all the time. I also just looked it up, and the last game that came out for Stalker was 2009. That's pretty crazy. People are asking me to review this, so you know what? Fuck it, I might check it out. And there was one final game to talk about today. The sandwich is complete. Phil's bringing out the final dish. Here it is. Gears of War E-Day.
Oh, yes! Yes! God, it's Gears of War! It is! Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Ah, it's fucking Gears of War 6!
I'm excited to announce that I will be starring as young Marcus Phoenix in this game. I'm a pretty casual Gears of War fan, but I can tell you that this was like the perfect trailer. What I love about this series is that it makes the manliest, buffest men sentimental and emotional. Gears of War is actually the cure for toxic masculinity, if such a thing even exists. They had a little sting of the old Mad World trailer in there, a nice little callback, and I'm glad they didn't just try to, rehash that whole thing. First off, seeing young Marcus Phoenix, great decision. Choosing to focus on this small, brutal fight between young Marcus Phoenix and a single Locust before panning out and showing the utter devastation on Sarah. I assume it's Sarah. Phenomenal call. Like, this one Locust almost killed Marcus in close quarters combat. Remember what I said, Gears of War is about weight. This is exactly the vibe to go for in a prequel about Emergence Day. Dom coming back and saving our ass again. You'll love to see it. This was a trailer for men to shed emotional tears. From what I understand, Gears of War had kind of gone off track after 3. There were some flashes of what people loved about the older games, but this is everything they love about the older games. It's the exact type of game that Gears of War fans want. A prequel to the first. I found a great post on Twitter to summarize the vibe. Many of us who've played Gears of War from the beginning are entering our 30s and 40s. I'll never forget the excitement showing my dad this cool gun that had a bloody chainsaw attached to it. I can't do that anymore. Loss is a huge reason why this franchise resonates with us all. And it feels like what people love about Gears of War has been reclaimed. It is no longer lost. And if all goes well, you guys will be able to re-experience those glory days. By the way, fellas, a new Doom and Gears of War, it's time to get back to the gym grind. Like, we need to bulk up, fellas, okay? We need to bulk up. And that was it for the showcase outside of Black Ops 6, but I feel like something was missing. What was it?
Hey, if you forgot it, it probably wasn't all that important.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm not surprised by the lack of Halo at this showcase. Unfortunately, it feels like it's par for the course, and I don't try to go out of my way to be pessimistic. I can just as easily be turned into a hype beast. All I need to see is Russell Adler.
How's he look?
He's back! He's back! They brought him back! I just need something to grasp onto. When it comes to Halo these days, it's like,
I know we're losing. I want to know if we've lost.
this series has been chugging along very slowly for over a decade, man. Not even a spin-off was announced. I am just so perplexed at how slow development of new Halo products are. It's like, I'm a consumer. I want to consume. Once again, we find ourselves in a position where the next Halo game isn't even being announced 3 years after the last. The time it used to take to develop, advertise, market, and release a new Halo. And now it's like that timeline has doubled. Think about it this way. In the time from Infinite to the next Halo, we will have played 6 different Call of Duties. And I'm not saying annual release schedule is the best, but by God, it does help to keep a fucking franchise relevant. Now that Microsoft owns Activision Blizzard and all of their franchises, why would they continue to take risks on an IP they haven't managed to get right all the way? The future of Halo is still uncertain, and I wish I could stop saying that. I guess there's always next year. There's always next year. So in conclusion, the Xbox Game Showcase this year was massive. There were more winners than there were losers, and it was a much needed and rare W from Microsoft and Xbox. I'd give this a solid 9 out of 10. If it had Banjo-Kazooie or Halo, 10 out of 10. Most games that I saw, I had something to say about and could see myself playing. Although for some titles, there's still reason to be skeptical, like with Perfect Dark, and Microsoft may end up closing more studios this year, but we still have to wait and see how these games actually turn out at release, and if they can help turn the direction of Xbox into a much better direction. But thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. What did you think about the Xbox Game Showcase? What was your favorite part of it? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to The Act Man for more awesome content. All right, everyone, that's all I got for today. This is The Act Man signing out. Peace.